I'm going to have to leave in like an hour, a little less than an hour. Yeah, alright, we'll keep this. Does Boros Dragons have sideboard options against Esper? Not really. Dragons has sideboard plans against control, but they're all still... None of them actually turn the matchup favored. It just gives them more things they can do. Alright, so we're playing a control mirror, huh? Having windfalls is nice at least. Think I want to foretell Epiphany. Make more room in my hand so I don't have to discard to hand size as early. Okay, so this is probably Esper control then. Which means this is probably going to be the last match we're going to play. That said, Meathook Massacre and Infernal Grasp are not nice cards to have this early against them. Hopefully... Okay, well, them doing nothing is fine too. I was gonna say that hopefully they do something, but them doing nothing is probably better. They'll give us an opening to resolve this windfall eventually. And, yeah, okay. They play Memory Deluge, we play a better card, we discard a bad card, we draw Hullbreaker Horror. It's not actually that good against them. Like, all we want to do is draw card advantage right now. That's the only thing that matters in the match against control. Threats are kind of irrelevant. But Hullbreaker Horror is nice. It finishes a game, but it's not super good against them because Vanishing Verse is a card they play a ton of that's just a clean answer to Horror. How is this deck's matchups? The matchup against various aggro decks is kind of close. It's not great. It's not terrible either. But the matchups against Esper are, I think, the best matchup against Esper that exists. Opponent plays Key to the Archive. Sure. Well, lets me resolve Unexpected Windfall again. What am I discarding to Unexpected Windfall? At this rate, probably a land? Best case scenario, we draw Galvanic Iteration right now. Infernal Grasp does have some use against control because it hits all of the Storm Giants. Abrade, however, blows up Key to the Archive, and that's very cute. So, I could resolve Unexpected Windfall here, but I don't have a card to discard that I really want to discard super aggressively. Infernal Grasp was the closest thing. And if I Unexpected Windfall into Abrade, I have to sack a treasure. I kind of feel like I'd actually rather just Abrade the Key to the Archives and say go. Yeah, I don't think I'm doing Unexpected Windfall here. I think I'm taking this a little slower than that. I don't know if the payout structures have changed in the past, but the way it worked out previously was that best of 3 gave you slightly better payouts for not making day 2, assuming you got to 3 wins, but the best of 1, it was easier to qualify with a slightly, or rather, you had a better chance to qualify in best of 1, but your gem payout if you didn't qualify was slightly worse. Alright, I don't think my opponent's main decking Test of Talents or Disdainful Stroke, but I'm going to be punished if they do. Hopefully this is just Jwari Disruption. It is. Okay. Well, our draws have been very bad, so if the opponent just has card advantage, we're in a lot of trouble. I can't even really use the Infernal Grasps with Hullbreaker Horror to protect it. What deck would I recommend for best of 1? Wow, okay. What deck would I recommend for best of 1? What are we doing here? Probably green-red aggro or mono-green would be my guess. Or actually, probably like mid-range brush stroke. That's probably the best of one deck, but it's not a very easy deck to play. I really can't do anything here, and they're just going to get to resolve Memory Deluge. Alright, so I'm falling pretty far behind because I haven't drawn any actual card advantage. Oh, hey, cool, they're electrolyzing me instead of playing Memory Deluge. That's a really good thing. Can't I grasp my own horror to bounce it? I can, I guess. Oh, well, they had enough mana to... Oh, it's from hand. Okay. Maybe I should do that. My opponent has a lot of mana, though. Key to the Archive, sure. Opponent on 6 mana. I guess this is probably the best opportunity to play horror I'm going to get. Especially now that I don't actually have to sack any treasures to do so. I mean, I have to sack treasures to protect it. Wait. Divine Purge and Esper. Feels like that's become less common, but I feel like they should have kept that to get rid of my treasure tokens. Okay, horror, see what the opponent does. They just divide by 0 it. Okay. Well, that means Hullbreaker Horror did its first job, which was to take cards out of the opponent's hand. Teachings of the Archaics. Sure. Alright, well, seems like a good time to have drawn Galvanic Iteration, so I'm just going to try to take 3 turns and then play Hullbreaker Horror and see where that gets us. What you got for me, opponent? If I only get to take 2 extra turns, that's still going to be fine by me. Which means Hullbreaker Horror super excellently did its job if they had 2 copies of Divide by 0. So we actually foretold this A-Alrund's Epiphany, which does mean that it's making birds. And they bounced the one that made birds, but that means now there's an A-Alrund's Epiphany in our hand. Alright, so we just play Hullbreaker Horror. Kinda sad that we're not foretelling this A-Alrund's Epiphany this turn. Would have liked to have drawn an untapped land. I think we're keeping Jwari Disruption. And I think... well, I wanted to cast that Epiphany, but it double-clicked, so now I'm not casting that Epiphany. That's really bad. How bad is it? Infernal Grasp, Jwari Disruption. Oh, that's really, really, really bad, actually. Huh. I have very few spells to protect Hullbreaker Horror that don't involve bouncing it. Okay, we're gonna deny them some mana with Meathook Massacre. We still have Jwari Disruption plus Infernal Grasp. Hopefully they try to play Mascot Exhibition. No, they play Teferi. Okay. That's extra mana. No, it's not a punt. That's definitely a misclick. We would have cast A-Alrund's Epiphany, done an extra 7 damage, and gotten rid of a key to the archive. Drawn an extra card, then played Meathook. Teferi gaining life also makes Hullbreaker Horror not lethal in 2 hits. That's probably not terribly relevant, because A-Alrund's Epiphany is probably going to be able to do damage. Please just play Mascot Exhibition. Please don't have more Divide by Zeros or something like that. Even a Lier would be fine. Ugh. Okay, that we can bounce, right? Have they played a land yet? No. Meaning if I Jwari Disruption this to bounce it, but all my other spells kill Horror, so I have to. This sucks a lot. Alright, opponent, I really need you to not have an untapped land. Okay, we win. Jeez. That was a lot harder than it needed to be. Yeah, we definitely have the kitty cam going on right now. Alright, return to fairy. Make birds. Kill opponent. Much harder than it needed to be, but here we are. Okay, we want hermits, we want disdainful strokes, we want go blanks. We don't want fading hopes, we want one infernal grasp. We don't want meat hooks. I think we decided we were okay trimming Sorins. I think we also trimmed the other Sorin for a second Hullbreaker Horror. Sounds probably right. Do we really just board out of black? Against control decks? Yes. I mean, the reason we're playing black is because black gives us a bunch of access to anti-control cards. Or anti-aggro cards, sorry. And the reason to play Izzet is that Izzet just has an excellent matchup against control. So it kind of makes sense that we just board into mostly Izzet spells post-board. Although that said, Go Blank is very good against the Lier decks. And is nice to have free access to. Okay, gotta keep this off the strength of Behold the Multiverse, but I'm not in love with the way that this makes us really reliant on Behold to hit our land drops. So we'll just hit our land drops normally and it'll be fine. Opponent considers, sure. Gets rid of a Vanishing Verse, okay. Hey, land drops. Land drops is good. Land drops is excellent. More land drops is also excellent. Can't really foretell anything here. I need to have access to the ability to bounce a key to the archives. If the opponent did nothing, do I want to play Behold the Multiverse? No, I don't think so. If that gets divided by zeroed, it's a little too awkward. Now I can Behold the Multiverse for 4 mana at end of turn and not be too upset. Opponent looks like they're pretty desperately trying to hit land drops. I could Behold the Multiverse now. If it gets Test of Talents, that's not the end of the world. Or Disdainful Stroke is also super not the end of the world. But if they consider into a land drop and then divide by 0, and we'll Behold the Multiverse, I don't want to give them access to environmental sciences here. I'm okay with 1 land drop. That's plenty. But good to know that they don't have any 2-mana counter spells. Makes sense that they wouldn't have Jwari Disruption. Otherwise, they probably would have just played it as a land and not slammed a bunch of considers. And they missed the land drop, but they did draw a card, so I can't just Unexpected Windfall here. Getting that counter would be too much of a problem. One tries to play a 4-drop. Think we are happy to put that 4-drop back in their hand. What do we go get? Could resolve Teachings here. Probably supposed to resolve Teachings here. Leave the Behold the Multiverse Foretold. Opponent discards a card to hand size. If the opponent resolves to Fairy, then they just down ticket to find a land, and we don't really like that. Alright, more blue sources. Could resolve Unexpected Windfall here. I lose 1 treasure because I have to divide by 0. Unexpected Windfall to draw. Yeah, that's probably still worth doing. What am I getting rid of then? Probably the Teachings. I don't think I need this Teachings. Oh, more Windfalls. Good stuff, good stuff. Okay. If the opponent doesn't jam to Fairy, then I'm up 2 mana. And mana advantage is the only thing that matters other than card advantage. And given that I'm also winning on card advantage, everything seems happy. Opponent discards Divine Purge, but opponent, that could get rid of treasures. Oh. Alrighty, let's play a red source. Going with the untapped land because if they jam a 4-drop, I want to divide by 0 it and resolve an Unexpected Windfall. Not really willing to jam an Unexpected Windfall here because getting it Test of Talents would be pretty bad. Plus the opponent's discarding a hand size anyway, so I don't really have to do anything given that I'm already making land drops. Alright, willing to foretell Behold the Multiverse. Gets a card out of our hand. Gives us room to play other card draw spells. And not have to discard the hand size. Memory Deluge, says the opponent. Sure, that's not entirely fine, because I do want to resolve Unexpected Windfall. So opponent's going to get to make some land drops now, but we get to make some treasures. Go Blank is the least good card in my hand. We get more land drops. Excellent. Very well, opponent. You are allowed to have land drops. I feel ahead on mana slightly, so I'm willing to make that trade. Usually it's a good position to have 3 times as much mana on board as your opponent, provided you're also on the same amount of cards as them. Usually. Just a heuristic for your use in the future. Duress? Okay. I don't actually care. The only 2 cards that matter are the ones that Duress doesn't take. It would be much worse for me here if my opponent was playing... Why can't I never remember the name of cards lately? Sudden... Not Sudden Betrayal. Unexpected Outcome? Because that could actually exile Lier, and that would put me in a worse spot. Okay, well, we're going to do nothing. And we're going to play a land drop, and we're going to pass. Break Expectations, that's the one. That's the one. Actually, I had a very hard game back in beta where I made every single land drop for the first 13 turns against aggro. Yeah, alright, alright. If you have way more mana than your opponent and the same number of cards as them, and I'm counting like cards in play as cards overall, then life can be pretty hard. Duress? Oh no. Alright, well, what if I Unexpected Windfall, discarding Infernal Grasp so there's no target for Duress? How do you feel about that, opponent? The good news is, now that my hand size is a little lower... No! Opponent figured out how to defeat me. They just didn't do anything. Boo. Alright, you can take Discover the Formula, opponent. How was I supposed to know my Unexpected Windfall would draw good cards? Oh, right, I don't have any non-good cards in my deck. I guess that makes sense. Alright, well, let's restock our hand a little bit. Oh yeah, this card seems good. And let's restock our hand a little bit. Don't need lands at all. Unexpected Windfall plus Galvanic Iteration. Wow, I bet that's going to make a lot of cards happen. Or better yet, actually, what if I Galvanic Iteration? And then Galvanic Iteration, and then go blank, and make my opponent's hand go away. I'm imagining they're considering Test of Talancing my Galvanic Iteration here, which is going to be annoying, because I'll have to, like... Oh, no, that's just divide by 0, opponent. See, that doesn't work, because that doesn't matter. Because I still have a bunch of Galvanic Iterations if you don't Test of Talents me, opponent. Alright. 2 Galvanic Iterations. Opponent, how many cards do you have in hand? Is it 6? Because 3 go blanks means 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6. Oh, and that Memory Deluge is gone too. Although I guess this is sort of a problem. I don't have a land drop to make next turn. I guess I can Galvanic and do a bunch of Unexpected Windfalls, and that'll probably find a land. Okay, here you go, opponent. Key to the Archive? That'd be kind of annoying. I don't want you to have mana, opponent. Okay, I'm just gonna play this Hullbreaker Horror and pass. I could do fun stuff with Oh wait, no, I'm definitely making a land drop. I mean, like, I'm discarding a counterspell with Hullbreaker Horror in play, but I care more about making land drops. I need to stay ahead on mana. Hey, we got there. Alright, I'll take it. We're gonna ship this. This is better. Slightly. We're gonna get rid of the 7-drop. Still one of the most efficient digs you can have in Standard, but I understand your point. Yeah, it's still very efficient. It just... I tend to use the word unplayable somewhat... Not even exaggeratedly, but like... It's important to understand that the definition of an unplayable card is a card that's 99% as good as something else. And Expressive Iteration is a very, very good card that isn't quite good enough to make the 60 card slots of most decks. Like, Behold the Multiverse is better in almost every way during any control mirror, and both cards aren't super great against aggro with the way that these hands typically shape up. I think I'm playing Haunted Ridge here so I can hold up Spikefield Hazard on turn 2. Because I think my opponent's probably an aggro deck, but maybe he's a Dragon's List. They are. Okay. Well... Do I foretold Behold the Multiverse? No matter how I play this, I'm in trouble if my opponent has the Townraiser Tyrant because I didn't win the dice roll. I can't really Fading Hope Townraiser Tyrant. I guess my logic has to be that I don't think that I'm beating Townraiser Tyrant here no matter what, so I just foretell Behold the Multiverse. Expressive Iteration sees play in basically all formats at this stage? Yeah, because Expressive Iteration is a very good card that scales with the mana cost of your deck. Which is to say that the formats where your mana curve is higher are the formats where it's the weakest. So it's not like comparing Oko, where Oko is the same card in every format. Oko seeing play in Vintage is cool. Expressive Iteration seeing play in Legacy just makes sense because it's a better card in Legacy than it is in Standard. No, we can't really sacrifice Haunted Ridge. Alright, Sorin isn't terrible. So we get to play Celestus and hold up Fading Hope, and hope our opponent doesn't have more Townraiser Tyrants. Hopefully they just have like a Goldspan Dragon or something that we can Fading Hope. Don't forget to update the record. Yes, good call. Was there a reason to bluff a Jwari here? I mean, there kind of was, and I did bluff that, but... Opponent should have post-combated this Townraiser Tyrant, because now I'm kind of forced to bounce the Townraiser Tyrant, and I would have taken 4 damage if they had post-combated this. But mostly I'm just going to die here because the opponent has the best possible curve, which is the good card in the deck and a ramp spell on 2 on the play. Not good for me. Not good at all. How do we handle this? How do we handle this? Playing Sorin isn't a very good line. I could Unexpected Windfall to try to find a board wipe to clear the Townraiser Tyrants before my land total goes to 0. Yeah, I think that's my only out. I mean, I guess I could divide by 0 the Townraiser Tyrant, but I think that's just losing in the long run. I think I just have to let the Townraiser die, or let the Townraiser resolve. Okay, so you're telling me there aren't any outs. That's painful. One of these days, we'll win some dice rolls against dragons, and life will be a lot easier as a result. Decline, decline, they need that mana for the time being. If I Teachings here, I'm left with 3 mana. I could Behold into a bounce spell, technically. Alternatively, Windfall, have 2 mana, Behold the Multiverse, not quite enough. I need card advantage, removal, and life. It's not great. If I don't Teachings here, it's hard for Teachings to ever do anything. I'm losing 2 lands next turn. I think I got a Teachings. Alright, Fading Hope isn't a bad draw, it's just also not a good draw. I'm going to 3, which means Cave the Frost Dragon is lethal too. The opponent has white sources, yeah. I'm in trouble. Okay, Townraiser Tyrant, sure. That resolves. It really is wild how different this deck is when it draws Townraiser Tyrant versus when it doesn't. Those are not good cards. These are also only okay cards. Should have double spelled to flip today. I don't think we're beating... Or rather, I couldn't double spell there. I had to hold up Fading Hope to answer Inferno. I was probably supposed to do something in response to this, wasn't I? Okay, so we decline this. Discard Unexpected Windfall. Make some treasures. Sacrifice it. Sacrifice it. Okay, well, if the opponent doesn't draw an untap land, we can Galvanic Iteration into Divide by 0 a creature plus Townraiser Tyrant. Okay, drew an untap land, so if they just play Townraiser Tyrant, we die. Yeah, this hurts. Okay, we're taking 4. We're losing a bunch of lands. I don't have any more Unexpected Windfalls. Yeah, Townraiser resolves. Yeah, Infernal Grasp is a much better answer to Townraiser Tyrant than bouncing it a bunch of times. So we are accomplishing nothing. What do we have to do here? How many lands are burning? 1, 2... So I lose 2 lands. I have no answer to Cave of the Frost Dragon. Alright, well, no alternatives. Bounce it, and bounce the other one. Sciences is probably necessary. Looting away Behold the Multiverse. Abrade, that's also useless. Okay. Not terribly many outs here. Not really any at all. Opponent Flash Dragons? No, opponent just forgot that we were on the end of turn. How do we stay alive here? We probably can't. We hope to draw on tap land. No, you know what? Why not? Tap land is fine too. So we die if the opponent plays Cave of the Frost Dragon. They only play Townraiser Tyrant, so that doesn't kill us straight up. Okay, just blows up a land. We divide by 0 a Townraiser Tyrant. We successfully stay alive. That's something. Get rid of a Abrade, that's not helpful. There's the Infernal Grasp, that would have been nice like 50 turns ago. Draw a card, sure. Loot away a land, yes. Have to sacrifice this. Play Environmental Sciences, get a blue source. Gain life up to 4 so it doesn't look like Cave kills us. Represent having 2 Fading Hopes. Hope the opponent doesn't play the hasty threat. Opponent does not play the hasty threat. Okay. That keeps us alive. But I don't think it gives us outs to stay alive next turn. Because I do still have to sack this island. Nope. Alas. No removal at the times where it was actually useful. So we get to play Hullbreaker Horror and Infernal Grasp and a bunch of Disdainful Strokes. We once again debate Meathook Massacre. We decided Sorin wasn't worthwhile. Abrade felt necessary. A-Alrund's Epiphany didn't, I think. We were cutting those. We might have been cutting Behold the Multiverse instead of A-Alrund's Epiphany, actually. But I think I prefer this setup. Alright, we'll jam that. Yeah, they spent a lot of turns deciding not to kill us, huh? Let's see, I got 25 minutes. Should be enough time to finish this match. Which perhaps means I should have conceded game one a little bit earlier. I did see that Twitter message earlier today. I woke up and pretty much went straight into this, so I haven't had a chance to respond to anything yet. Okay, take the play, because that's better. Keep this hand. It has answers to everything. We like this hand a lot. Alright, so I do have double black spells. I should just lead on Stormcarved Coast. It makes my turn 2 a lot simpler no matter how I play this out, and lets me decide land drops later on. Ooh, alright. Abrade's nice. The only thing they could have punished us with here was 2-drop ramp artifact, and Abrade helps. And one of the only people I've seen do best of 3 for the Open today. It's harder to qualify for, or qualify with. Yeah, there you go. But it is better practice for tomorrow. Okay, Unexpected Windfall is good. I probably want to make this land drop with Spikefield Hazard. If their turn 3 is exactly Whelp, I guess I regret that. Not by a ton, but by a little. No, their turn 3 is Orb. Okay, I can handle that. Two Disdainful Strokes is actually kind of excellent. At long last. This is on red and not on blue, so they're probably not playing counterspells post-board. Behold the Multiverse is a good draw. Alright. I think we are just beating the opponent because we did not have the pain of being on the draw. Sure. Opponent resolves an Inferno with a Star Mounts. That's not quite good enough, because it's going back in their hand. And we get to draw more cards. I don't think I need more Disdainful Strokes right now when Inferno is the bigger problem. Okay, so we Unexpected Windfall, discarding Jwari Disruption, probably? Oh, no. I mean, I probably divide by 0, but I guess maybe that means I should have Jwari Disruption as my land? Yeah, probably come to think of it. Although I'll feel good if they try to go, like, 4-drop plus Test of Talents or something. Sure, Orb of Dragonkind. That might actually give me an opening to play Unexpected Windfall then. Oh, opponent's gonna do nothing? Opponent, I don't think doing nothing is your route to victory. But okay. Make some treasures, draw some cards, draw a removal spell for Inferno Titan. Inferno Stars. That's the one. Okay. Play Celestus. Do we make a land drop, or do we try to loot the land drop away at this point with Celestus? I am slightly light on card advantage, so I think I'm supposed to choose to hold the land to discard for looting. Abrade! Okay, I mean, that's still my opponent losing a card. So, sure. That is a 1-for-1 either way. I assume that's supposed to be against, like, Key to the Archives. I just don't think that that's even close to correct for dragons to care about. You have to be aggressive with dragons. Okay, so they super don't have blue mana. And Velomachus is just a card that's very Disdainful Strokeable. Unexpected Windfall, also a reason to hold Riverglide Pathway, I guess? Oh wait, no, my answer to Inferno is Infernal Grasp. So I can discard this land and maybe make the land drop anyway. Nope, okay. Do have a Meathook Massacre though, that's pretty good. Yeah, Inferno as an answer to the Mirror seems reasonable. It's just slightly bigger than everything else. Boop. Okie dokie, it's gone. Alright, well, Galvanic Iteration was the best possible draw, so we're going to draw a million cards and make a million mana. Seems pretty good. That should put us pretty far ahead, I'd wager. But we have to draw non-lands. Okay, never mind. It's a game. Yeah, opponent gets to start cracking orbs for card advantage. 10 seconds ago, I didn't think card advantage was a way I lose this game, but that's beginning to look like it's changing. If my opponent keeps drawing lands, though, that's helpful. Alright. Opponent's got a Whelp. It's a 1-1. That's technically a clock. Inferno of Star Mounts? Wow! I can almost Jwari Disruption that. Almost. I should probably divide by 0 that, actually. Oh, hold on. A little bit of liquid down the wrong throat is all it takes. Alright. Not necessarily because divide by 0 on the Inferno of the Star Mounts is great, but because I actually want creatures to attack my opponent with. Oh, okay. Or we could draw Discover the Formula and nothing was ever hard. Never mind Mascot Exhibition, you're on the back burner. Once again, Day Night started because I turned it on and forgot about it, so probably should have discovered the formula at sorcery speed, but yeah. Opponent, do you want to play a really expensive card that dies to my 1-mana removal spell? Because I would love that. Untaps the Forsaken Crossroads rather than scrying. That's aggressive. Oh, okay. Fair. Alright, well, I'm just going to counter both of your things, opponent. I would like to spend 1 mana to counter your Goldspan Dragon, and 1 mana to counter your Inferno. Oh, hey, I got a Lier. Neat. Fearsome Whelp is allowed to hit me. That's acceptable. Cards in the hand cost less mana for my opponent. Turns today, we play a Lier. I don't know, then we like play a Mascot Exhibition because I've got infinity cards. And infinity mana. Okay. I would like the opponent to concede now, in the interest of time. A punt? What punts? What punts you say? I don't see a punt. Okay, opponent orbs, sure. Oh, Inferno with the star mounts. That would be scary if my life total wasn't already infinity. Alright, we're gonna kill the Townraiser Tyrant. Letting it turn to night? No, I mean I was technically holding up instant speed interaction. I think we just sack a land. I got enough mana, which hurts to say. But having fewer triggers on future turns is nice. Alright, you want to kill my 2-1 opponent? I've still got a 2-turn clock either way, so yeah, fine by me. Once again, turn it to night. Why not? Lantern of the Lost. Oh, cute. It's like almost good. What card do you want to exile, opponent? Mascot Exhibition? Okay. You want to exile all my cards? Wow, that's so rude. Alright, discover the formula, draw a bunch of cards. Then what? Any of these spells castable? Nah, we're fine. Okay, all my cards are exiled, opponent. Opponent draws a card. Opponent plays a 6-mana 6/6 dragon? No, maybe it's a 5-mana dragon, actually. Nope, just a Niddle Gold Dragon. I'd like to Disdainful... Oh, no, I can't Disdainful Stroke that. I could for fun, though. But, I'm not gonna bother. Okay. You can put that dragon back in your hand and concede a moment. I'll take Teachings of the Archaics. Okie dokie. Land drop first, bin kill. That was a super good Relic of Progenitus that almost mattered. Definitely. Well, I'm thinking no changes. Yeah, 14 minutes for game 2. Now, which actually reminds me, I should double check that. Alright, yep, all good. Okay, this is a pretty good hand. Needs to draw lands, but otherwise it's got everything it wants. Well, Celestus is sort of like a land that doesn't work as a land at the beginning, which is a shame because the beginning is when I need more lands. Fearsome Whelp for our opponent. Alright. No land for us. Alright. So we're in a teeny tiny bit of a pickle. Too bad the Stormcarved Coast was tapped. Would have liked to have Fading Hope with the Fearsome Whelp to try to hit a land drop. Opponent does actually play blue mana, just elected not to play any lands that make blue mana last turn. Curious. Okay. Well, I do have to Fading Hope the Fearsome Whelp, unfortunately. Opponent's considering testing of Talancing it. They do choose to test to Talents it. That's a pretty big mistake from them, but I'll take it. I'm very happy that I allowed them to make that mistake. So, I mean, maybe they have a second test of talents and just wanted to throw it away for that reason. And we don't find a land. Alright, this is going to be a painful way for this to end. So they know we have a Disdainful Stroke. They know we have an Infernal Grasp. We know their hand has lots of options. Alright, you had the second test of talents too, opponent? Yeah, you did. Okay. That complicates a lot of things. It'd be a good time to start hitting land drops. We succeed at that. Okay. I have to hold up Divide by 0 in case they play an Inferno. If they don't, I could choose to Infernal Grasp the Townraiser Tyrant. If I don't Infernal Grasp the Townraiser Tyrant, they just do nothing? That's a concern. I guess if they do nothing, then I Infernal Grasp the Townraiser Tyrant at end of turn, and that works decently for me. Jeez. Okay. Divide by 0 the Townraiser Tyrant that's in their hand. Grab an Environmental Sciences. Take damage. Take more damage. Jeez. Okay. Environmental Sciences. Hit a land drop. Infernal Grasp a Townraiser Tyrant. Get hit by another Townraiser Tyrant. Opponent finds a Cave of the Frost Dragon. It's not great. Lose some life. Lose our black source. No, they go for blue sources. Okay, that's good for me. How much life can I afford to pay here? If they have an untapped land, they Cave the Frost Dragon me, and that's a problem. If I choose to keep a land, we go to 6. Infernal Grasp puts us to 4. So if I Infernal Grasp this Townraiser Tyrant now, we die to Cave of the Frost Dragon. Unless I sack Stormcarved Coast. Yeah, I think we gotta sack them. Which means we hope we hit an untapped land. We do. That's helpful. And now I need the opponent to whiff on some draws for a bit, which I don't even know what that looks like, because I need them to not have Cave of the Frost Dragon or dragons. Or they can have both. Both is a problem, too. What? Oh, I see this already has been in their hand the entire time. I see. Yeah, alright. Unfortunately, we don't get to beat the dragon's nut draw on the draw. Seems to be the recurring theme. One of these days we'll just win the dice roll, though. One of these days. Then life is easy. Well, so I need to draw 3 lands into play and a Meathook Massacre. And then we might stabilize. Unfortunately, did not do that. Well, we tried.